Hey guys, welcome to Comics Blow My Mind. I'm your host, Martin, aka Superman, the creator of Comics Blow My Mind. And I promised you guys that I would do my first review, and you guys chose what I wanted to review. And boom. My first review is Civil War. Marvel Civil War. Marvel Civil War is a 7-issue epic event between Captain America and Iron Man. Iron Man supports the Superhero Registration Act, where all superheroes should register and reveal their secret identities. And Captain America is on the rebel side, where it's freedom of speech, and you don't have to reveal your identity if you don't want to. Basically, I'm gonna give my final thoughts on the movie, or what the movie is going to be adapted to after I review this. So it's I think 10% or at least 5% of what's in this story is going to be in the actual movie in Captain America Civil War. And I'll tell you my thoughts and how they're going to do it. So basically it starts off with this superhero team called the New Warriors. They're C-listers in the superhero world, and they're on their own reality TV show trying to capture supervillains for ratings. And they messed with the wrong supervillains by messing with Coldheart, Speed Freak, and Nitro in this neighborhood. And they decided to take them on, and that was a bad idea. These supervillains were definitely not at their level. The C-listers, or the New Warriors, were definitely not the heroes that can take them on. So the supervillains kicked their ass. But what made it tragic was Nitro. He has like nuclear power. He unleashes his power and destroys the whole neighborhood. And what was sad about it, he also destroyed an elementary school with a bunch of kids playing. So it was super sad, super tragic. And when I read that, I was like, wow, that's really dark, And Nitro definitely didn't give a crap, no fucks whatsoever, and he blew up a whole neighborhood. And it's all the heroes assemble to help out, to clean up the mess and trying to find survivors. And that's when Tony and Captain America and all the heroes started questioning themselves, knew something was coming, because the government was tired of the heroes, the people were tired of the heroes. So a lot of the heroes knew that people were going to bring their pitchforks and everything. So the government decides, hey, we're going to do the Superhero Registration Act, where every hero has to reveal their identity and become a government worker and become an agent of SHIELD, or at least work for the government. And there's this funeral. There's a kid that died in the accident or in the tragic event named Damien, and Iron Man went to the funeral, and his mom spit in his face. Was like, "How dare you? You guys think you're above the law because you got powers and blah blah blah." And it really hit Tony. Tony was like, "Whoa, wow." She's kind of right. And so he decided to side with the government and become the face of the Superhero Registration Act. So it all came to Captain America, where one of the SHIELD agents was asking him, "Hey, what are you going to do? Are you going to be a part of the Superhero Registration Act?" And Captain America straight up was like, "No, I'm Captain America. I stand up for freedom. I've been fighting for this country since World War II. I fought Hitler." He wasn't having it. So the SHIELD agents and the SHIELD, they went after Cap. They were trying to capture Cap, and Captain America totally kicked ass and, didn't have any part of it. So he went underground to start the Secret Avengers. Now, I knew shit was going to get real when the Watcher showed up. Now, if you don't know what the Watcher is, the Watcher, he's a cosmic being that records everything significant in the universe. So he showed up, and all the heroes knew something was going to happen, because Doctor Strange was like, "Oh shit, the Watcher's here." And the only time the Watcher shows up like this is when something major is about to happen. So that's when I knew shit was going to get real. And Iron Man agrees to become a government employee, and he tells the world, "Hey, we're doing the Superhero Registration Act. All the other heroes that don't comply or don't become federal agents for the government are going to get arrested and go to prison. And a lot of the heroes, you know, went to Tony's side, and that was cool. And a lot of the heroes didn't, and they went to, you know, Captain America's side. And I was really sad not to see Wolverine in this. I thought Wolverine was definitely going to be on Captain America's side. But Wolverine, he was in a few scenes in the book, but he just kept his own with the X-Men. The X-Men didn't want anything a part of this. X-Men were like, leave me out, and just fuck you. You know, that's what the X-Men were. You know, they weren't on no side. They just leave me alone. Let us be at our school. Let's do our thing. And but yeah, Captain America starts the Secret Avengers, and they go underground, and they were counting down the days where the Superhero Registration Act law was going to be, you know, in motion. So it did. It passed, and all the superheroes had to register and give up their identities. And guess who revealed themselves first? Or not first, but guess who the big main changer was? Game changer. Spider-Man. Spider-Man or Tony Hawk. I don't know. I guess Tony Stark skateboards. My bad. Tony Stark holds a press conference, and he was like, hey guys, you know, now that, you know, the law passed, you know, let's kick it off the right way. So here comes Spider-Man. Spider-Man shows up in his suit and everything, and everybody, the whole world was watching. And it was funny because Jonah Jameson, he was sitting there, and I can hear his voice in my head. Damn it, Peter! You know, like, you know, he hates Spider-Man. He hates Spider-Man with a passion. He wants him gone. He's a public menace. You know, in Jonah Jameson's words. So he shows up, and he was telling the crowd, you know, I'm not afraid to be who I am. I'm not ashamed to wear this mask. I'm happy to be who I am, and I've discussed with my wife. This is the decision that we made. And he takes off his mask, and he reveals, my name is Peter Parker, and I've been Spider-Man since I was 15. And Jameson fucking falls in his chair, and like the whole world is like, whoa. And a lot of the, you know, Captain America's, you know, side, the Secret Avengers were pissed because they're like, wow, Peter Parker revealed himself, you know, as Spider-Man. And so Spider-Man was definitely on Iron Man's side for sure. You know, Iron Man definitely did some convincing, and you know, Iron Man was having Mr. Fantastic work on the secret project. You know, the Negative Zone is where a prison where they keep the secret project wasn't the Negative Zone. I'm going to tell you what the secret project was in a second. The Negative Zone is where, you know, they keep all these supervillains, and that's where they're keeping all these heroes. You know, the Young Avengers, they got captured. The Young Avengers were captured, but they were rescued by the Secret Avengers, thank goodness. But yeah, the Secret Avengers rescued the Young Avengers. So the secret project he was working on, or he had Mr. Fantastic work on, was, well, all right, let me tell you this. So, leaded up to that, Captain America, Goliath, Daredevil, and Hercules were at a diner at their secret identity talking, you know, like who they were. Like, you know, they were in incognito talking about the Super Registration Act and how it passed. That's when they got a call about there was a chemical plant on fire and they needed to rush there, you know, to help save lives. But it was a trap. Tony Stark used it, you know, planned it to lure them out and to confront them. And so it was a trap, and boom, there was Secret Avengers and there was the Avengers. There was Tony Stark's side and there was Captain America's side. And the secret weapon, like, it was all out war. They just started fighting. Captain America got his ass kicked. Spider-Man was, you know, kicking ass. I mean, it was all out war between the new Avengers, or the Secret Avengers, and the Avengers. Now, the secret project Mr. Fantastical was working on was Thor. Thor showed up in the middle of the war, in the middle of the battle. Thor, when I saw Thor show up, I was like, oh shit, what side is he on? But come to find out, he was a robot. I'm sorry, he was a robot. Thor was a robot, and no one knew on Captain America's side. They thought it was really Thor, and they were like, oh shit, the god of thunder is here. He's a fucking god, you know? And the sad part is this robot, Thor, he killed Goliath in the battle. And that's where everybody just like shit bricks. It was like, oh my god, someone died, you know? And this robot mindlessly killed Goliath, you know? And at first I was like, oh, is that Thor? You know, Thor just killed Goliath, and you know, I was happy to know it wasn't Thor, because Thor wouldn't kill, I don't think. I mean, I know he has in the past, but not to another hero. So, you know, the funeral for Goliath starts, and you know, Captain America shows up to Goliath's funeral, and you know, it was really sad seeing that. You know, it was like two funerals in one book. You know, Damien, the kid that died in the accident, and Goliath. And Spider-Man, it hit Spider-Man really, really hard. Spider-Man definitely was hit by it because he wasn't expecting anybody to die, especially someone he's, you know, fought with, and, you know, someone he knew. And so Spider-Man was questioning himself, you know, am I doing the right thing? Am I on the right side? And he confronts Tony, and he talks to him, and he was like, hey, why am I a part of this? Why am I on your side? And Tony was like, it's for the greater good. It's the law, blah, blah, blah. And Peter was just like, you know what? F it. I don't have anything a part of this. It's not what I signed up for. It's not what I believe. And he starts fighting Iron Man. And it was a quick fight. It was a good fight for, you know, I liked it. If that fight is going to be in Captain America Civil War, I will pay to watch it. That is going to be interesting. But yeah, they fight, and, you know, Spider-Man was in his Iron Spider suit, and they start fighting, and Spider-Man escapes, and he goes underground. Now, before this, or when this was happening, they recruited the Thunderbolts. They recruited supervillains to take down and bring in heroes like Taskmaster, Bullseye, Venom. They recruited all these supervillains to help out bring in superheroes and to police, you know, this new Superhero Registration Act. And these villains didn't care. They were like, hey, we're free, we're doing this, whatever. So a couple of them meet Spider-Man in the sewer, and they face off, and Spider-Man gets his ass kicked. He's the point of death. You know, Spider-Man just totally gets his ass kicked. He's about to die, and guess who shows up to save the day? Any guesses? Raise your hand. No? No? Question? No? You know the answer? No? Iron Man. No, I'm joking. Not Iron Man. The Punisher. The Punisher shows up and saves the day. Not only saved the day, but he killed the shit out of those guys that are almost killed Spider-Man. It was a great scene, but I mean, anything Punisher is involved with, if Punisher was a real person and I was a criminal, I would definitely change my job title, because like, out of all the superheroes, the Punisher is the one dude I don't fuck with at all. So he shows up, he saves Peter Parker, and Peter Parker is on the brink of death, and at that time, when he rescues him, Captain America and the Secret Avengers, gather around talking about, getting the plans for the Negative Zone so they can help, save the other heroes that got arrested. And during that conversation, boom, the door opens and the Punisher's like, I need a doctor. And there is Peter Parker, bloodied and everything, and they were just like horrified. And they definitely helped Peter Parker, and Peter Parker recovered. And they definitely helped him out, and they were just like, which side are you on? You know, like, and Peter Parker was like, well, I'm on your side now. You know, I don't believe what Tony Stark is doing. I don't believe it at all. And it was just a crazy scene, seeing Peter Parker that way. But there was a cool scene where, you know, the Watcher shows up in this dimension where Doctor Strange was meditating and he was fasting, he wasn't eating, and the Watcher's like, what are you doing? Why aren't you helping? Whose side are you on? You know, and Doctor Strange is like, I'm on no side, you know, neither side's right or wrong. Why should I be a part of this? You know, and you know, and what was crazy was the Black Panther, you know, in the beginning, you know, Reed Richards was asking the Black Panther, hey, I mean, why are you going to ask the Black Panther, the king of Wakanda, to be a part of this, where he's the fucking king of Wakanda? He don't have to be a part of this shit. He has his own nation, his own place. He, you know, vibranium and everything. And, you know, I was really hoping to see Black Panther, you know, but I mean, we got to see him a little bit, but I'll explain that a little bit later. I'll just let you know he was definitely in here. So yeah, you know, they show up to the Negative Zone, the Secret Avengers, and, you know, they went in way too easily, and come to find out, guess what? It was another trap. And, but here's a cool twist. Both sides had spies that they didn't know about. Tigra was Iron Man's spy that was on Captain America's side. And, Changeling, or this shapeshifter, kidnapped Hank Pym and took his voice, and not took his voice, but, you know, took his identity and pretended to be the Wasp, and not the Wasp, Yellow Jacket. And, you know, the whole time they were shocked knowing that wasn't Hank Pym on, you know, that was a brilliant part on Captain America. That was a great part, and that was the whole point of rescuing the Young Avengers. But yeah, there was a big battle that happened, you know, again, for the second freaking time. And, you know, everybody was fighting. And, you know, Black Panther was on their side now, on Captain America's side, fighting along with Captain America. And what was crazy, though, in the story is Susan Storm showed up at you know, Atlantis, where Namor is at. And she was like, oh, Namor, you should help me. And Namor is a total badass. Namor is like, well, why should I, you know, address me as your highness? And like, why? This isn't my war, blah, blah, blah. And Namor is like a fucking beast, too. I mean, there's Aquaman and there's Namor. Both of them are equally good. I like both. But yeah, there's a huge war that broke out. And, you know, Captain America was fighting Iron Man, you know, the huge side, you know, there were supervillains and heroes on Iron Man's side and heroes on Captain America's side. It was just a big out war. And it got to the point where Cloak, the superhero that, you know, where he can teleport people by putting in his cloak, he teleports them out of the Negative Zone or wherever they were at and onto the streets. And the battle started on the streets. Now, what was crazy about that fight was how Iron Man was getting his ass kicked. It got to the point where Captain America and Iron Man finally met again, and Captain America was kicking his ass. And you know, he got to the point where, you know, Iron Man was like, finish me off. And Captain America was going to. He was going to finish his ass off. I felt like he was, until the public, the people themselves, decided to stop Captain America. And that really hit me, because I was like, the people had to get involved. You know, people that had no powers had to get involved with the fight. And Captain America stops and looks around, and he's just looking around at the destruction and people fighting. And I felt the emotion that he was going through. He started crying, and he goes like, what am I doing? You know, like, this isn't me, you know? Like, why is this going on? And there was a quote he said in there that almost got me. he takes off his mask, and he's like, they're not arresting Captain America. They're arresting Steve Rogers. And that really hit me hard because I was like, wow, like it's Captain America, I mean, whose side was I on? I have to go with Captain America. That's my boy. I mean, I believe in freedom of speech and I believe all that stuff. And I'll definitely be on his side because you don't have to reveal your identity as long as you're saving people. But I can kind of see where Iron Man was coming from. But, it just got to the point where, you had to pick a side. One of the funniest scenes that I liked in the book was when Daredevil got arrested and he was going in the negative zone and Tony Stark was like, I'm sorry, I have to do this. And he was like, here's a silver coin. And Iron Man's like, why are you giving me a silver coin? It's like 37 pieces, just for you, Judas. And I was like, oh, what? He called you Judas, and you've read the Bible. I know Judas betrayed Jesus and over a certain amount of money. And I think it was like 37 silver coins, or I forgot. I think it was silver coins. But yeah, it was just like snap moment, like how Daredevil just, I think Daredevil is going to be in Civil War. But, fast forward, after they arrest Steve Rogers, the world, it's Superhero Registration Act, and, there's different teams now, and Tony feels proud of himself. But at the very end of the book, Tony was like, was this worth it? We'll never know, his point of view. And, all the other people, like, Spider-Man is no longer Spider-Man. He's in the black suit now. And, Captain America is now underground again. And it was just a great, great story. I know my review for this isn't as good. I mean, I know I didn't go through every freaking thing. I mean, one of my favorite parts is this, Peter Parker revealing himself. And, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I tried my best with the review. But now it's time to talk about how they're going to adapt this in the movie. Now, I think 5% of this story is going to be in the movie. I think, honestly, there's going to be other heroes in this. I mean, in this book, every fucking hero was in here. The Sentry. I mean, everybody you can think of, on the top of your head was in this story. But it's not going to be on that global scale in the movie. It's definitely going to be a Captain America movie. And I think at the end, Captain America Civil War in the movie, he will get arrested and do that famous scene where he was like, they're not arresting Captain America, they're arresting Steve Rogers. And I want them to reveal Spider-Man the way they did in here. How Spider-Man, the actor, I don't want to know the actor's name. I don't know who's playing him. I don't care if he's black, white, Miles Morales, Peter Parker. I don't care. All I want is that scene where Tony Stark's like, oh, we got Spider-Man, blah, 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 Superhero Registration Act, blah, 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 blah. And then, boom, the reveal of the actor for, for Captain America 3. That would be cool, but it's never going to happen. I know for a fact. So many leaks. The internet, can't keep a secret, and that's what sucks. But, I think at the end of Avengers Age of Ultron, I think the destruction that happens with Ultron, I think the people are going to be like, hey, the Avengers, it was their fault for this destruction. It was Tony Stark's fault for creating Ultron and blah, 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 blah. And then that's when at the very end where the government's like, okay, we need to come up with the Superhero Registration Act. I think that's how it's going to definitely going to be. I think that's what's going to happen at the very end of Age of Ultron. The Superhero Registration Act is in place, and then that's when Captain America 3 starts. But I think Captain America 3 Civil War is going to be a good movie. I think Black Panther is going to be in it. Spider-Man's going to be in it. I can totally see Thor and the Hulk being in it. I mean, the Hulk wasn't in this story at all because of the Las Vegas thing. She-Hulk was in it. I mean, I don't know, but this book, for 7 issues, is just ridiculous on how emotional and awesome this story is. I bought this for like $10, so I definitely was happy about that. But if you haven't read Civil War and didn't like my shitty review, I am sorry. I'm not the best reviewer in the world, but I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. This book is amazing, and I can't wait to see 2 to 5% of this in Captain America Civil War. But I also want to say thank you so much we have 50 subscribers now. I know 50 is like, oh, wow, 50, that's all you have. But, I mean, we have over 10,000 fans on Comics Blow My Mind and 50 subscribers. So if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe, even though my shitty review was awful. But I'm going to work on my reviews a little bit. You know, if you like this video and you like my personality and you like what we stand for, you like the page, please subscribe, help us out. The more subscribers, the better. We want to bring you awesome content. I do this for fun. I do this for you guys. But yeah, just remember my motto: live, laugh, and love, and always smile. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. If you guys like this video, please like and comment below, and please subscribe today. So I'll see you guys in the next video, and have a good day, guys.